phone again. Always forgetting. Well, this is just a video regarding the effort to organize an atheist organization, sort of based on YouTube participants. I guess I just say first to Jason that he did a really incredible job putting together this framework. Really outstanding work, and any way I can help, I will. I have some, technical ability. Some, I can do a little bit of programming, Perl and JavaScript, that kind of stuff. And so, any way I can help out. There was issues. I've had the same basic idea that I would create a website related to these issues myself. So I do have the domain name DoNotGod.com, and I'll post a link, but there's really nothing there yet, and I'll just link to the resources you have up. For me, it's the real point here is not so much to argue with Christians, because to me that argument is sort of over. Like I said, they're liars and control freak fascist crazies that have to be just controlled politically, and we have to take our political power back, and that's the only really use, in my opinion, for an organization, is the fact that we have clout in numbers. We can't accomplish anything as individuals, but as a group we can extort power, and we can extort influence on power, however you want to put it. There's a couple of items. You have a great list of stuff to get accomplished. To me, what the organization is called is kind of irrelevant. We could probably have about 15 different domain names that all point to the same website. It really wouldn't matter. Also, logos and stuff, that's not really stuff I care too much about. I understand why it's a procedure. I just say go with anything to start with, and you can always change it later. Stuff, I guess somebody has to take responsibility, in a sense, for the website, so I guess there's going to have to be some people that are ultimately responsible. I don't know how you're financing the hosting or providing for the hosting of the website, and as it grows, of course, that might be an expense that has to be accounted for. There's also issues of copyright and the rest of it, where somebody has to take responsibility for what is put on the website, and I'm almost of the opinion that we ought to try to push that bubble, that we ought to force some lawsuits and some actual court decisions, without settling, just to force the legal system to deal with this whole copyright issue, because it's all really insanely ambiguous. Everybody's running for fear from the threat that's out there. Any crazy judge who doesn't like you can basically, in a copyright circumstance, you could be subject to this open-ended almost penalty, for if you're actually found to have infringed. And it's all, if you read the freaking law, there is these fair use provisions, and if you're not making money and you're not compromising the value of somebody else's content, if one of those two things doesn't exist, this cannot be a copyright infringement. We ought to force that issue, because it really is stifling. The Google thing isn't working just because it's so arbitrary. If you have enemies, your capacity to do something creatively or artistically is limited, because those enemies can shut you up, can shut you down. And if you don't have enemies, well, yeah, you get away with all kinds of crap. You can just start rebroadcasting Mr. Ed episodes, and if nobody, raises a voice against you, it's fine. So it's just a huge double standard that exists out there. And well, anyway, like I said, if you're going to host videos, you're going to have to take some response. Somebody's going to have to, put their name on this thing, and so that's going to have to be a decision to be made, like who's going to have ultimate responsibility, because somebody's going to have it. and that person's going to have to be protected by the community from the liability that might be incurred because of that, and we're all going to have to arrange that somehow. The other issue is, tax exempt status. Eventually, that'd be a good idea, because if you do have to finance something, it's good to have that ability for people to write it off. Beyond that, the big one for me now is, just because of some involvement with my local town, is the whole thing of public access television. I think it'd be a good idea for us to take the best of the atheist community that's making these videos and create a show. Just combine some of these 10-minute videos or 5-minute videos, whatever, weekly, maybe even more often if we can pull it off at some point, and submit them to these, all the big Comcast and all the rest of these cable companies. They all run all these public access channels in all the states in America. It's basically an American issue, and under the law, we have a right to access that outlet. And there's, my local public access station in the afternoon is a few religious shows, and we really should have an atheist counterpart to that, and even issue related stuff, which is the other aspect to this, is that atheists only share this one common fundamental belief in not believing in God, but there are other issues, and if we're going to have an organization, we must be open to defending some of these other issues. And obviously atheists should really try to push the free speech bubble. They should be pushing to have the laws changed, because we really should be able to access anything. It's freedom's a big word for most atheists, and I don't go for all the libertarian politics. A lot of atheists are selfish bastards, but beyond that, we do share common opinions regarding social liberty and the right of people to say whatever the fuck they want, to do whatever the fuck they want in their own living rooms or on video, and drug laws and abortion, and the other, homosexuality, whatever. It's not something I'm incredibly interested in. I'm not a big fan of I'm fine. I don't even want to. I'm not a big fan of gay people. It sounds bad. I'm just not. I don't hang out with gays, and and I don't even. I don't like gays, to tell you the truth. Gay gays. These effeminate men on TV shows who have, they put them everywhere now. And, I'm not a big fan of it, but certainly I'm all for supporting their right, all for supporting equal rights, everywhere. Really, it's just a fundamental value. If you don't believe in some bullshit dogma that decides some people aren't worth something and other people are worth more and all this other crap, then you think people should have equal rights, and that's what we really should be supporting as part of this framework. So anyway, obviously these issues get complicated because we're going to have dissension among us, and so there has to be some way where those different elements or expansions of our organization could be, can coexist without imposing on each other. So, you can still be part of the group and only support this aspect of what the group does, and only have your participation support the things you believe in, and not end up indirectly supporting stuff you don't want to support. So there has to be some differentiation between those things. I don't think as a group we should do things, and we have to modularize it, however functionally we accomplish that. But there has to be an effort to keep things separate, just so we don't step on each other's toes, don't offend each other, and so that we're able to accomplish the stuff that we can really do together, and that we can just use the resource to its best potential. And that's all the time I have. So really great work, though.